Yeah. Better days, I pray for better days. Working hard cause I want extra pay. Talk to them seeds, but you must demonstrate. Is it your ways that they gon' imitate? Non-violent. Sometimes I wish I would've went to college. Frown proudly. Cause where I'm from, they hate you when you smiling. Your faith should be your gun. You can't leave home without it. The children being grown, cause all the parents acting childish. You show them your reality, I bet they doubt it. You tell them all about your dreams, that's when they out it. Your own blood, ain't no family no more. They do you badly for show. You try to patch up your soul, Lord knows you on a mission to show him you so submissive. The prayer said in silence, you know the devil can hear him, pay attention. Know the war's within, how much time do you spend? Try to balance your zen, then again, losses is lessons. You tell me you trying to win, we know about saving money. You tell me you trying to spend that blood on it. Sweat, tears, you put that love on it. Your best years was just a dumb moment. You tired of going hungry, can't deal with fake making your life lonely. Your lack of faith that left your soul boning. But you gon' work and you gon' strive, do what it takes to survive. What is truth, what is a lie? You know that war's inside. Some get draped into the fake, they don't know what to decide. Wrong choice, meet your demise, keep that between you and I. You realize, some people you gon' let go, you visualize. The things you need to feed your soul is on the rise. They not gon' wanna let you go, but it's alright. It's cool to bury what's gon' grow. Went from wrong to the right and to the dark to the light. It was a hell of a fight. You give it all your might. Gotta hold on tight and you stay strong and precise. You fight the war that's inside, cause it might change your life. From wrong to the right and to the dark from the light. It was a hell of a fight. You give it all your might. You just hold on tight and you stay strong and precise. You fight the war that's inside, cause it might change your life. I ain't the person that I used to be. So what I do today ain't things that you used to see. Stay the same, no, things change usually. Some folk I may know might get reintroduced to me. Yeah, I ain't the person that I used to be. So what I do today ain't things that you used to see. Stay the same, no, things change usually. Some folk I may know might get reintroduced to me.
Yeah. Don't be stressing on the dumb shit, cause God is gonna make a way. Just keep going and keep your faith, so you can win this race. This race called life, yeah, yeah. This race called life. This race called life, yeah, yeah. Race called life. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm grinding 'cause I know that I'm gon' get it. I just gotta have vision, keep faith and be humble. And have some patience with it. I've been A1 since day one, been always on my job. I never been a fake, never had to steal and rob. Cause I do good business, I'm too good with it. And even though I'm on this road, I'm still daddy to my children. You know I do good with them, and don't like being missing. But I hate when my bills are thicker and my pockets get thinner. But I can't stress up on the dumb shit, cause God is gonna make a way. I keep going and keep my faith in my pace, so I can win this race. Win this race called life. This race called life. I'm just trying to win this race called life. This race called life. This race called life, yeah. Race called life. I'm just trying to win this race called life, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I keep on running in this race called life, yeah.
How you doing? How you doing? We in here. We made it. We made it. Peace to the Titan family. Peace to everybody in the chat. Let's get right into it. Tonight's guest, we have a truth seeker, a legend across several platforms, known for her razor sharp research, her fearless pursuit of truth. She calls herself a student of life, and her journey proves it. From the pews of Christianity through the pillars of Islam and into the ancient wisdom of the Hebrews, she's walked paths most only read about. Today, she stands as a self proclaimed pantheist and one who sees the divine not in temples or texts, but in everything that exists. To her, the universe itself is God. Get ready for a conversation that challenges beliefs, expands horizons, and dives deep into the mysteries of existence. This is Tiffany French, and she's here to share her truth today. Everybody, give Tiffany French a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling just fine. I feel good.
Sun shining, the birds was chirping. It was definitely a beautiful day over here. Shout out to Bar Reloaded in the building.
Oh yeah, shout out to Bar Reloaded. Shout out to them.
Shout out Blessed Be doing their thing as usual. Um, yeah. So, how long have you been around in the conscious community? I want to get right into it.
Okay. Well, I've been around the conscious community on and off for about 15 years. Hmm.
Okay, so what made you start coming around? Like, what was the first thing that grabbed your attention?
Well, okay, so at one point in time, when I was in college, I used to study about the Freemasonry and the Illuminati, and I remember watching this movie called The Zeitgeist.
Mm, that
Yeah,
one got me too. Go ahead.
yeah, the Zeitgeist movie. It was a pretty decent movie. Don't get me wrong. Um, and the word Zeitgeist means spirit of time. That's German. It means spirit of time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, uh-huh. And it was a pretty dope movie. I think the third one was my favorite because it got more in depth into like the sociology and social interaction and things of that nature. But what got me involved with dealing with the conscious community. Oh yeah, that brother put that on that conscious community tip. I thought we joked about it being the conscious circle. Anyways, um, so one day I happened to be in downtown Atlanta.
Hmm.
Um, and I seen these group of guys, right? And I thought they were Muslims, but they weren't. They called themselves Nuwapians.
Okay.
So I said, okay, so the Nuwapian Nation. And at first I wanted to join the organization. I actually liked being around them. I actually like interacting with them because I thought they were very intriguing. The things they were saying was like very thought provoking. And they even gave me some of the books or whatnot to read. So I would come down there every time, whenever I see them, I interact with them and things like that. But however, I did not join because I found out about Dr. York.
Mm,
And I was like, yeah, I'm good on that.
yeah.
I'm good on that. That's not where I want to be. And then also I had interest for the 5% Nation as well.
Okay.
I had a deep interest in the 5% Nation too. So but I chose to be a Hebrew Israelite because somebody had introduced me to the Hebrew Israelite culture. Now, the type of Hebrews I've been around, they were non-Messianic Hebrews, meaning that they did not believe in the concept of Jesus, and they
Okay.
followed the Torah, the Tanakh, the Old Testament. And also, what made them a little bit more unique was the fact that they um they were pretty African centered in a way, you know what I'm saying, and they host like different community events at the temple. So I would go there and they would have the service every Saturday, the drumming and whatnot, um, things like that. So outside of that, no, I never crossed paths with the rosters. No, never did. Nah, I mean, well, later on, but I never like actually interact with the roster movement like that. But anyways, I was with the Hebrew Israelite for about 2 years, and then I eventually left because I had some questionings about the Bible and things like that. Um, what inspired me to leave was the fact that I wasn't gonna keep doing the Sabbath every Saturday for one, and then two, I couldn't really get the answer to the question in regard to the Bible, and and I met some more people along the way that have helped me with the information, you know what I'm saying, as far as like help me to think for myself, help me to ask questions. I met one particular individual who I no longer talk to anymore because we had our fallout, but I would say that that person has helped me as far as like, show me, hey, this is how you question things and stuff like that. And then I also met some more people. So, and then that inspired me to start elevating my knowledge and start studying more and learn about different information. And like I said, the other thing that I was interested in outside of my interaction with the Nuwapian outside the Hebrew was also with the Nation of Gods and Earth. Like I say,
Hmm.
I study a lot of their information. I have books on their knowledge and things like that. So yeah, but I just choose to be on the path where I'm more independent. So that's why, like I said, that's why I call myself a student of life because it give me the independence to be able to learn different ideologies, different philosophies, and be able to, determine things for myself, question things, and just go from there. So, you in life, you always want to learn. You want to continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be stuck at one level. You know what I'm saying? You just want to continue to grow and elevate yourself.
Big facts. That's big facts. Okay, I got another question for you. What was the first moment that made you start questioning the faith you were raised in? Because I see that you say you went through several different. Um,
Well, because well now with Christianity, like I said, I grew up in there because my grandmother was a Baptist.
mhm.
So I grew up in the Baptist church, and then like, as a child, one of the questions I would ask her, right, because she used to always have a picture of Jesus, what I'm saying, in
Was it
her
white
bedroom.
Jesus or was it the
Yeah, it
black
was a white
Jesus?
Jesus. Yeah, she would have
Oh,
a
it's the
picture.
white
She would
Jesus.
have
They
a
always
picture. She would
the
always
classic.
have a picture of a white Jesus in her kitchen. I mean, not her kitchen, her living room or in her bedroom. And I'm like, Grandma, is that Jesus? Does Jesus really look like that? She looked at me and she said, Tiffany, stop asking too many questions. Then I remember one time I slipped up and I said, Grandma, I don't believe in God. And she was like, don't let me hear you say that no more. You know how it is with them old folks.
Hmm.
She was from the country too. She like, don't let me hear you say that no more. You know what I'm saying? So, it was a thing that I had to go to church with her. And then I had started losing interest in church. But then when I got in my teens, I had started going back and then I lost interest again. Now, as far as Islam, when I ended up staying with my mother at the time, okay, because I had ended up moving to Ohio, living with my mom.
Hey, Ohio versus everybody, baby.
Yeah, in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
But you
Yeah,
know
that's,
what's so funny? I'm gonna tell you a story.
that's where I'm at.
I was
That's
actually
where I'm
born in
from.
Ohio. I was actually born in Ohio. I was born in Akron, but I grew up in Georgia. I grew up in the South.
Okay,
So
I hear the accent.
yeah, I grew up in the South, but yeah, but I was born in Ohio. I was born in Akron, Ohio. So that's the
Shout out
interesting.
Akron. Shout out
Yeah,
Akron.
yeah, that's the interesting part about that. But yeah, when I had first moved to Ohio at the age of 11, I was staying with my mother, right? And she was practicing Islam. She was practicing Sunni Islam. She lived in Cleveland, and so I was up there with her. Um,
Shout out Cleveland.
yep. So yeah, we she was practicing Sunni Islam, and the Islamic community is pretty big up there. Especially if I'm not mistaken, on the west side of Cleveland, like they have their own little like stores and like marketplace over there, what have you. So yeah, the Islamic community is pretty big up just up in the north. Period, is pretty big up there. But anyways, I was staying with my mom, and like I said, she was a devoted Muslim at the time. She was practicing Orthodox Islam, Sunni Islam. And at first I didn't like it because I didn't understand it. It was just different from me. It was different from how I was raised. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling that whole covering your hair up and praying 5 times
Mhm.
a day and fasting and reading the Quran. And I wasn't feeling that at the time, because I didn't understand. And she was married to my stepfather, who was Muslim, of course. And so, yeah. Um, However, looking back at it now, I learned to appreciate it more. And the reason why is because my mother gave me the Quran and the prayer work before I had left Ohio and came back to Georgia. And she ended up passing away back in 2017. So, I look back at it and I feel more appreciative that, I got a chance to be exposed to that, because now that I'm older, I have a better understanding. Okay, this person asked me, did you ever cross paths with the Moors? Yes, I have. I have been around the Moors. Yes. And I have my views on the Moors too. But um, but yeah, anyways, so my mom pretty much inspired me, brought that inspiration to me. And if I would have never known about Islam, I would have never, what I'm saying, I would have never had a chance to have that knowledge. So now I have a better understanding. And it's still some stuff that I can remember, some stuff that I can memorize as far as the teaching, the lesson is concerned. So, yeah.
Okay. That leads me to my next question, actually. What lessons do you carry? Well, actually, before that one, how did your time in Christianity and Islam shape the foundation of your spiritual journey today?
Well, Christianity, let me see. Because I'm now able, over the years, since I started studying more about Christianity, I have a better understanding than I did before. So I don't look at the Bible, and same with Islam. I don't look at the Bible or the Quran from the literal standpoint. I understand them from the metaphorical standpoint. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the metaphors behind both books. And once you understand the metaphors, you'll be able to make some sense out of it. You don't have to take it literal. So I learned not to take those things very literal, because at the end of the day, they just like basically textbooks. That's all they are. They're like literature. It's like you reading a epic poem or something. You know what I'm saying? So that's all they are. It's just literature. So once
Okay.
you,
I like how
huh?
you put that. I like how you put that.
Yeah, that's all they are. They just literature. So once I was able to come across it, it was like, okay, it's no need for me to take it literal. Now some of the lessons are needed to guide you along the way. And I took some of the lessons to help me guide me along the way. But outside of that, I don't take the Quran or the Bible from a literal sense, because again, it's just, those books are just literatures, written by men. You know what I'm saying? So once you're able to understand the metaphors, it makes sense.
That again, that leads right into my next question. This is perfect. Okay, so what lessons did you carry from those traditions into your current belief system?
Mm. Like,
Since go ahead.
okay, I say, for example, one of my favorite scripture from the Bible is Ecclesiastes. And the reason why I love Ecclesiastes is because you understand the reality, of certain thing. It's like it's more correlated to what's really going on. And I love Proverbs as well. So, but when I read Ecclesiastes, which deals with the story about the preacher, and the word Ecclesiastes meaning the clergymen, who are ministers, pastors, imam, whoever, the religious figures are. So the way that the way that it was structured and um how it was formatted, it just like it puts you in a deep thought. It's like, dang, gee, this is the reality. this is life in itself right here when you read it. It's like when you see like the part where it says that there's nothing new under the sun. um you know, all these things that you have is not going to go with you and things like that. That's just the reality. It's like basically you learn to remember that you're here one day and this day you go, and all that you work hard for is not going to stay with you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to belong to someone else. And it gets me into understanding the concept called memento mori. Memento mori, which is a Latin term that means remember your death. Remember your death.
Wait, up,
You know what I'm
on
saying?
one. Momentum more.
Your memento mori, which
Okay.
means remember your death. So that means that, you know, tomorrow ain't promised today. So you living for the moment, you know, and we so as human, we're so quick to be in a rush to try to get everything together. We gotta do this, we gotta do that, as if we are promised the next day or next week or, you know, the next month, whatever. But we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't really focus on the moment. We focusing on what's the, you know, the following day. But you can't focus on the following day. You gotta just know that you're living for the moment. You don't know what's gonna take place. So for me, that scripture kind of just helped me to learn the life lesson about discipline, about morals, about values, about understanding that, hey, not only that your life is not promised, but you also gotta be mindful of the people that you're around. You gotta understand humanity. Humans are going to be humans. So everything that you think is supposed to be this way is not going to always be that way. And everything has its moments, everything has its time. So there's a part that where it mentions that there's a time and a place for everything. You know, there's a time to heal, there's a time to kill, there's a time to plant, and there's a time to pluck what's planted, what has been planted. Um, there's a time for peace, there's a time for war. So it's like you see the duality, you see the correspondence behind it. You know, everything has its opposite. You know, so yeah, that's the thing with the lessons I learned from Christianity. Um, let me see, and the Quran. Basically, you know, the Quran just teaches you like how to be more disciplined with yourself, how to be aligned with yourself, how to pretty much learn how to lower your gaze. You know, you don't have to chase after everything that you see. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go for everybody, you know. So um and also you learn how to just take better control of your diet. I mean, eat in the same way with the Bible, it teaches you about diet, but you know, the Quran goes in more depth about diet. You know, just learn how to be more modest and things like that. So I could take that part away from Islam. You know, Islam really deals with a lot more about discipline. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
I was
And
watching your channel today, and you had a show on there going in about. I remember you saying this specifically, like, how is eating fruit to be healthier pseudo? I was just laughing.
right, because you know, some people, okay, you know, there's people who make criticism about, you know, various schools of thought as far as like their dietary laws. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, the dietary laws are needed. So I was making a video speaking on the atheist community because, you know, the atheist community, they always have a strong critique about religious people and things like that. And I get it, I understand. But it's like, okay, now with this critique, what would you say that is a replacement for dietary laws? What's a replacement for people health and wellness? What do you have as far as solution wise?
Mhm. Yeah,
You
like
know what I'm saying?
I thought it was just common knowledge that eating fruits and vegetables made you healthier. I don't know how some other
Right, right. You
people,
know what I'm saying? Yeah,
but they do
it is
though.
common
I've seen
knowledge.
it.
But
I've seen
see, because we live in America, you know what I'm saying, we going by American dietary system, right? You know, the main thing that many of us like to eat is a lot of bread, a lot of sugar, a lot of starch, a lot of this thing, other, you know what I'm saying? And then those things take a toll over our health, you know. So, and we, you know, a lot of times we like to eat a lot of carbs and stuff like that. So, I mean, when you go into the process of being able take your journey, whatever you want to call that journey, whether it be a spiritual journey or just, going through your process of healing, one of the things is you learning how to change your diet. You learn how to better your diet, which brings about, better discipline of self. Because your gut, right, is your second brain. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is like whatever you put inside your body as far as your gut is concerned is going to have an effect on your brain activity. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have an effect on how how your brain process because of what you're eating and how much you're consuming of what you're eating. You know what I mean? Um, so that part right there. So, you have to be mindful. We have to be able to understand like our body function the way that we need it to function, right? Like the food, like vegetables and fruits and whatnot, those are our primary medicine. You know what I'm saying? Those are our medicine. So going back to I think was it Imhotep that made the statement, let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food. That's true. Because medication, you can take medication, and medication is needed. However, medication only acts as a booster. It's like it only boosts your body up. That's all it does. It doesn't necessarily, you know, cure everything. You know what I mean? But your diet is only going to be as good as the medicine that you take. Again, your diet is only going to be as good as the medicine. So you can take all the medicine you want, but if your diet is terrible, then the medicine can only do so much work and it's not going to be effective enough because your diet is not in line. You know what I'm saying? You're not maintaining a proper diet. So you're going to
So are you
continue,
vegan right now?
huh?
Are you vegan right now?
No, no, I'm not vegan. But
I'm just curious. So
no,
what's your
I'm not.
diet consist of? I mean, I'm all nosy. I'm all in your business.
So right now my diet is I'm looking into doing like anti-inflammatory diet.
Hmm.
But right now I mainly just eat a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, certain type of vegetables, and I stay away from bread, and I stay away from a lot of sodas and things like that, and just drink more water or whatnot. Yeah, and then the type of meat that I like to eat is like turkey, chicken, lamb, certain type of fish. Yeah, I don't really do beef. I don't even do pork. Um, So yeah, that's my diet right there. So I'm just trying to like balance it out, trying to make sure that I stay in the line because my situation is I have high blood pressure. So by me having high blood pressure, it's very important that I try to maintain a proper diet so it doesn't um take a toll over me, you know. So I try to do that as much as possible. And that's the whole thing, if you maintain a better diet that is helpful for you, then you won't have to worry about taking as much medication, or you won't have to worry about taking medication every single day. You know what I'm saying? Because you have better control over your body.
That's big facts. It's big facts. I definitely watch what I eat because, yeah, well, they say high blood pressure ones in the family, but
Yeah,
really
that's
just
my
diet.
situation. Yeah, high blood pressure runs on both sides of my family, and also diabetes runs on, well, the diabetes and high blood pressure runs on my dad's side, but high blood pressure is on both sides.
But it's really just the diets and the
Yeah,
recipes that's being
yeah,
passed down. That's what they're passing you. And then, yeah, make sure you're mindful of the people you're around too, because if people are making you upset and got you
oh
all
yeah,
up, you producing the same chemicals you're trying to avoid by eating healthy. Uh,
right.
so if you're trying to avoid the sodium, people making you salty all day, it's the term. That's gonna be raising your blood pressure too. So you'll be mindful of that, people out there at home. Um,
Oh yeah.
that's big facts. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
so
vegan
my
for like
thing is I
5 years.
believe in integrative medicine. So
Mhm.
integrative medicine is like complementary medicine and also conventional medicine. So conventional medicine is like, prescribed medication, things of that nature. over the counter medicine, and then complementary medicine is like dealing with like holistic medicine or like holistic healing, natural remedy, yeah, things like that. So yeah, that's why I believe in integrative medicine.
Holistic wellness says your circulatory system needs to be worked on. They are here to help with that too. Okay. Um, my next question for you is, was there a single revelation or experience that led you to embrace pantheism?
Um, Basically, it resonated. It made more sense because, to be honest, we really don't know what's behind this universe. We
Hmm.
don't know what this mystery force is. So we really don't know.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
right. So when I studied the concept of pantheism, um, it made more sense to me because it's like, well, you got the universe, and in the universe, you have the cosmos, you have the stars, right? You have the sun. You know, you have all the things that's in the universe is also within us as well. So it will, in my opinion, it will make sense to see that as what you would call the supernatural as God, in my opinion. So it's like, well, God is the universe because, I mean, because that's where we come from, and that's where all the cosmos, all the particles and whatnot, that comes from the universe in itself. The earth is a part of the universe, so and the earth been around about what, 8 billion years, and the universe been around about 14 billion years. So it seems like the universe is infinite, or um it doesn't have a time stamp on it because it's been here for so long. But it's like, at the same time, it has a life of its own too. However, it provides us so much what we needed. So without the universe, we wouldn't have the earth, and without the earth, we wouldn't have organism.
That's deep. That's deep. I was just
Right. And so
explaining
the
to
universe is
somebody.
going to, yeah, the universe is continuously expanding, more and more. So, you know, yeah.
That's big facts. Big
Hmm.
facts right there. We're gonna pull up the research on that one day. Um, how do you define truth after walking through so many spiritual paths?
Well, I'm still learning the truth. I'm still learning. I'm still I'm still on the search of what is the truth, because I could say that I'm closer to truth, but at the end of the day, I'm still on the quest of finding out what is the truth.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm on
Yeah,
the
what
same
what
path
is
as
the
you.
truth?
I'm on the
Like
same path as you.
we still don't know. We don't know what is what. So that's the purpose of learning, because you live to learn and you learn to live.
Mm,
And
that's deep. Say that one more time.
you live to learn and you learn to live.
That's
So
a bar right there.
right. So life itself is a quest, and it's a journey. Um, and from what we deal with as humans, it comes from the concept of subjectivity, versus the objective, right? So a lot of the things that we've learned is subjective, so we don't know too much of the objective. The only thing that we know that is very objective for the most part is the fact that we all gotta leave the planet.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts.
Yeah. And we do know that it takes man and woman to bring life on this planet as far as humans are concerned, right? But we don't know the origin of where man and woman come from per se, as far as like who came first. Did the man come first or did the woman come first? We don't know. Because it's the same argument as which one came first, the chicken or the egg. Well, we
Mm.
don't know which one came first. We just know that one cannot be here without the other. So yeah, so
Agreeing.
I mean, I'm still on the quest for the truth.
Big facts. Okay. Well, when you say the universe itself is God, because you were just using the word subjective and talking about our subjective experiences here,
Hmm.
what does that mean on a personal level?
When I say the universe is God,
Hmm.
well, going back to what I was saying, I mean, because the universe is like the provider of the resources that we need. You know what I'm saying? The universe is the provider of the resources. So like as I mentioned about the cosmos, the stars, the sun, particles, just to name a few, that all falls in line in the universe. So, and also the universe provide the resources that is needed for the earth. So we are a part of that. It's like that is our original ancestor, right? The cosmos
Mm.
are our original ancestors. Um, so and the universe plays a big factor in that. So without it, I mean, where would we be? Where would the world be without the universe?
Facts, facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Coming from the pantheistic perspective,
Hmm.
how do you understand creation? If everything is God, can anything truly be created?
Well, see, that's a good question. I wouldn't. I don't know if everything can be truly created per se, but I can say that everything, as far as that is concerned, right, deals with evolution.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay,
and we
let's
are.
go.
Yeah, and we are a part of that evolution, and even the universe has its own evolution, right? So I could say that we are evolving. And that's the only thing I could really say. But as far as creation wise, I mean, we don't know for a fact if there is an actual creator per se. You know what I'm saying? So, and we don't know. We don't know how and exactly a lot of those things that is in the universe was in formation per se. But we just know that it has evolved into something,
Hmm.
right? And from atoms all the way on down to organism, evolve, evolution.
Okay. How do you view the concept of good and evil if all things are part of the same divine whole?
Well, what we call good and evil is a duality. It's a
So, similar to the Gnostic views?
Yeah, like similar. Have you heard of the Kabbalion?
Hmm.
All
Definitely
right, which
familiar.
was written by the three initiate.
Hmm.
So in the book, it talks about the law of duality or polarity, right? Everything has its opposite. So you have the good, and then you have the evil. So you're gonna always have an opposite.
Hmm.
Everything is not going to be just one or one particular thing. Now they can operate as one, meaning that because they join forces, right? And it's all happening in the same environment or arena or whatnot. However, it's still opposite. So you will not be able to have good if you don't have evil, and you will not be able to have evil if you don't have good. So,
Facts.
so one thing we got to know that everything is going to have its opposite.
Agreed. Agreed. I agree with you on that one too. In your view, what role, if any, does prayer or worship play in connecting with the universe?
Mm. Well, basically, if I say if I was to point that out, it would be consciousness. Yeah, it would be consciousness because it brings some form of sense of awareness of who you are, and it's like you dealing with the internal work within, and you know that there is a connection between you and their universe, because going back to the Kabbalion, it teaches that what is above is also below, right? So what is also above, meaning what's in the universe is also in you as well. And the only way to be able to do that is either study yourself. And when I say study yourself, I mean like the knowledge of self, as far as like the science, the the psychology, the philosophy, and the spiritual aspect of yourself. And you'll be able to have that understanding of the universe. And then once you study physics, right? Physics just deals with the study of matter and energy. But then, like, you get into the concept of chemistry, you get into the concept of dealing with astronomy, uh, astrophysics, astrobiology, astrochemistry, cosmology, right? Quantum physics. You studying about the behaviors that's taking place within the universe, how the universe behave, what goes on within the stars, what goes on with the sun, what goes on with the particles, what goes on with the molecules, how do they go about behaving, how do they move from one state to another, you know? So you'll understand that you have that strong connection with the universe that way, and you're not totally separated from it, because once you leave, right, you're going to be part of the ecosystem. And once you become part of the ecosystem, right, there's another part of you that goes back where, to that cosmos, right? So yeah, so you'll start understanding your connection, you'll start recognizing that you're not separated from the universe
Hmm.
like you think. And oh, I want to post something up real quick. I wanted to show like a picture
Yep,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
um let me see. I hope you can see this picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could you
Sharing
see?
your screen now. Or do I have to remove something? Okay, let me remove that.
Okay.
There
Now,
we
here's this picture right here. So the picture shows like how we are made of star stuff, right? And how we have all the things that is within the universe that's in us. So right here you can see the concept about the Big Bang, right? The cosmic rays, the low mass stars or whatnot, and the exploding neutron stars, and how human are made. So you see here where it says 9.5 hydrogen, 0.85% calcium, 0.1% for phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, right? Carbon, nitrogen, right? And then you look at the periodic table, and you can see the periodic table here, and then it shows the mass, and again shows the elements here: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, potassium, sodium. All of this is in us right here, right? Then it goes into the function of the human body, the conversion of food into energy, building blocks of the body, the testosterone, estrogen, the transport nutrients, remove wastes, regulate body's temperature, building blocks of proteins, essential part of DNA, the nerves, muscles, and blood clotting, building and maintaining bones and teeth. So all these elements right over here, right, plays a factor within us as organism, and they play different function in as far as our organs and our systems are concerned. Okay, but again, these same elements goes back up to here, right? These same elements can also be found right here, and
mm,
it can also be found in all of these over here. Okay. So again, what you find out there in the cosmos has its function down here in the human's body. All right. And not just in the human's body, but also within plants, also within bacteria. Um, and I'm talking about good bacteria as well. Bacteria is an organism too. Um, other animals. So these things play a role in how we function. So yeah.
Big facts. I like that chart right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the chart. Yeah.
We'll have to look that up. Can you yeah, if you can, drop that to me after the show.
I will most definitely. I will.
I appreciate you.
All
Or
right.
I'll go back and screenshot it off the screen. Real
Okay.
quick, we're going to go to a word from our sponsors before we get back to this interview. We got Tiffany French over here dropping fire. Let's go to the tournament that brought this all together. This is what made me make this page right here. I've only had this page about 2.5 months. We already doing numbers. Shout out to the Titan family for always tuning in. Here we go.
These are not just speakers. These are thinkers, forged in fire. Warriors of words stepping into destiny. Welcome to the Coliseum of arguments, where logic clashes with conviction and ideas spill like blood in the sand. 16 titans, 16 minds, one path to immortality. They come seeking truth, they fight for redemption, they burn for revenge. Featuring the intellectual elite of the Titans Debate League. Every round a new war, every word a new weapon. Every titan ready to fall or rise in glory. This is not debate, this is combat. Step into the Coliseum of arguments. Only the brave speak here. Are you not entertained?
Yes, yes, yes. Only the brave speak here. That's going to be the new slogan for the channel. Only the brave speak here, baby. We got a $500 cash prize with this tournament. The winner of each round will be receiving $50 on the road to the finals. And I'm excited to see who takes it all. Like, this is dope. I started out as a fan. I became a debater. Now I'm running a platform. But everywhere I go, I excel quick and work my way up the ranks. So this is nothing new. Shout out to you, Titan family, for always being there in support. And we got one more ad real quick before we get back to Tiffany French. This one.
This is Clash of the Titans 1.0. Two minds enter the arena, only one leaves standing. On the left, Honey Clark, leader of the Barbarians, a name that strikes fear in debaters across several continents. Omnis, scholar, the backchat butcher who's made countless heads roll. And on the right, Bosco Hoover, the primitive Freemason, a master of research, a student of knowledge, an executioner of wisdom. The battlefield are Jesus and Archangel Michael, one and the same. The date, Sunday, October 26th. The question: are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Make sure you have your butts there October 26th, 7 p.m. Beat me there, don't meet me there. We are not going to be late. You feel me? Clash of the Titans 1.0.
What?
This is the first round bracket. And maybe we'll be lucky enough to get Tiffany French in, 1.2. I'm gonna keep my hopes up. You feel me? You there, Tiff?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay,
here.
let's get back to you. My apologies about that. Got to keep the lights on around here. Where was I at? Okay, next question. You call yourself a student of life. What are the greatest lessons life has taught you so far?
Well, the greatest lesson life has taught me is the value of being a human. The
Expound on
value,
that.
huh?
Expound on that for me.
Okay. Life has taught me that as being a human, there's going to be a lot of imperfection. And as a human, you're not going to know every single thing. As a human, you're going to go through human experience because when we understand nature, nature itself is very chaotic. And everything in life is not the way that you see it in your eyes, you know. And I also learned that this world is based on social politics. Okay, this world is
Can you
based on
explain what sociopolitics is?
okay, what I mean by social politics mean that everybody is gonna have their own views, their own beliefs, right? They're not going to see things in one dimension. Mean that everybody's not going to agree with life being one way,
Okay,
you know.
facts.
So let I can get into a better definition. Watch this. So social politics refers to the interplay between social and political factors that shape a society structure, governance, and culture. It examines how social phenomena like inequality or social movements are intertwined with politics and how political structure in turn influence social dynamics. Social politics is a multidisciplinary field that includes political sociology, focuses on topics like electoral behavior, social classes, public policy, and citizens' participation. All right. And like I said, people is gonna always have their own personal politics. They're going to have their own views. They're going to have their own philosophical way of seeing life. So, and you can't project everything you believe onto somebody else because that's not how, that's not the way life works. You find people that are on a similar path as you. You find people that are connected with you. But at the same time, you just got to know that people are going to be opposite. And people going to have their views. People going to think and feel how they want to feel, and there's nothing you can do about it. And the world's not going to change the way that you want it to change. So it doesn't take one person to change the
Mm,
world. You know, uh, people as a collective got to want to make the change. Now you could be the inspiration to somebody else. You can be the example to people, but you can't force change on people as a collective.
that's deep. That's deep. And that's facts too, because I see it. I've been through it. I've been
Right.
guilty of trying to do that myself, only to
Right.
keep bumping my head against the wall. And I see people doing it every day. But it's just in some people, and it's like they can't stop. And that's how it is for me. Like I know it's go not gonna work all the time, but I still got to keep trying. Because
Right.
what
And
else
then
is
you
there
have to
to do?
understand the world is, people operate off of egos.
Hmm.
People operate off of greed,
Mm.
you know. So one thing I learned when I took sociology back in college, it's about power, wealth, and prestige. So it's about being able to gain that power, and prestige is about making yourself feel like you're worthy of that power, of that position. And wealth is not just about money, but it's about accumulating resources. So life have taught me that too. And it's like some things are beyond your control. Going back to that serenity prayer, if you know what the serenity prayer is.
Um, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and change the things
Yeah.
I cannot. Wait, I'm saying
And hold
it
on,
back.
hold on, hold on. I'm gonna pull it
I'm
up.
messing
It
it up.
said
I'm sorry.
you right. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can
Courage,
and the
yeah,
wisdom to know the difference.
and the wisdom to know the difference. Preach, girl, preach.
Yeah.
That was good. I definitely forgot that one. I was
Yeah.
butchering that. My apologies to all the
Yeah, I
Christians.
had to look it up. Yeah.
You fast with it.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question. How do you balance spiritual intuition with academic or historical research?
Well, sometimes you gotta learn how to separate the two. And what I mean by that, once you learn how to separate it, then you know when it's time to balance them. So when it comes to your studies, right? When you study academic, right, you study on the academic aspect of things. Okay, you study on the academic, you just focus on that because you want to understand what the academics are and how the process work on the academic level. And then you study spirituality on your personal time, right? You get into that, as far as your personal relationship with self and whoever you call your creator. Now you intertwine the two to make some sense and have some understanding, right? To develop better logic, to be able to bring about better interpretation.
It's deep. It is deep because I recently fell off of my spiritual path. I guess I got so deep into the debates, and I'm more agnostic than atheist, but I was taking the atheist position in so many debates. It's like I had lost sight that that stuff is real and does matter for a second. So it's like I'm trying to get back onto I'm probably about to have to go through a whole. Well, I'm not probably about to have to. I am going through a whole nother spiritual journey right now. So spiritual journey 2.0 for A1 popping off right now. But I'm still here. We were a little late, a couple minutes late, but we still made it.
It's all good.
Yeah. Okay. My next question to you: what's your perspective on the human ego? Is it an obstacle or a part of divine expression?
Mm,
The ego, baby. Everybody got their egos.
I would say it would be part of the obstacle more than a divine expression. The reason why, because your ego can be your biggest downfall.
Facts. Talk
Your
to him.
ego more than likely can be your biggest downfall because we tend to operate so much on our egos and not operate on not operate on the state of humility.
Hmm.
So we allow our egos to be the dictator of our choices, our personal lives, instead of coming to a state of being more disciplined and more humble about, and being more diligent about what we're doing. So um every once in a while you can have an ego here and there when it comes to developing confidence in yourself. But if you always prideful about every single thing and you don't analyze what the problem is or where you messed up at, then that's going to lead you to your path of destruction. That's going to lead you into a predicament that you're not going to be able to get yourself out of.
Okay. What's your perspective? Now, you know what? I'm going to come back to that one. How do you interpret the idea of God made man in his image through the pantheist lens?
Well, because you are the likeness of God. If we're going to say it like that, you are the likeness, meaning that you are the reflection of God. So again, going back to what I said about the universe and about us as humans, we are that reflection of the universe. We are the reflection.
And would you agree with the statement we're all reflections of each other?
In ways, we are. Yes, we are in ways. In ways.
I hear that one being tossed around a lot, so that's why I asked.
In ways, we are. In ways, we are because based on how we think and how we view each other, right? Based on our character, it can be a reflection. You know, people say all the time, you are a reflection of your mom. You are a reflection of your dad. You are a reflection of your grandfather or your uncle because you carry certain characteristic traits. You carry a behavior that is a reminder of those individuals.
DNA be strong, don't
Yeah.
it?
And that's called epigenetics. Because with epigenetics, that deals with it basically means above genome.
Okay.
And that deals with the gene expression. So your gene open up and your gene closes, open up, closes, or whatnot. So it don't change your DNA, but it's just your gene expression changes. Meaning that you carry on certain traits, right? You carry on certain behavior because you're a product of the environment that you're in, or because again, you inherit some of the traits from your ancestor, right? Whether it be biological traits, physical traits, and some personality traits. So,
Facts. I know my mama always be making fun of me, like, boy, you walk just like your damn daddy.
yeah.
I'm like, what? How do I
Oh
walk like?
yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I
leave
get
me
told
alone.
that I act like my father. I was told that I look like my mother.
Mm. So, and when I asked that question, or when I even hear that phrase being thrown around, I never thought of us being reflections of each other in that sense, reflections of our ancestors. I was always thinking it was how we project ourselves, how our perceived projections of what we think other people think about us. So I was feeling like it was the projection coming back to you. That's what it kind of meant. But that was a dope way that you interpreted it and explained it. Dope perspective on that one.
Hmm.
Okay, how do you interpret the idea? Oh, I just asked you that one. What's your take on consciousness? Do you see it as something individual or part of a universal mind?
I see it as both.
Talk to me.
Okay, because as the universe is expanding, right, we learned that there is some form of consciousness there. There's some form of sense of awareness or some sense of awakening that's taking place. So as the universe is expanding, and once you study about the behavior of the universe, you will learn that it got its own consciousness. It just doesn't have a conscious the way that we operate as humans, but it has its own form of consciousness. Okay, and we're part of that consciousness of the universe. It's just we just have our own way of dealing with consciousness. And as individual, you have your own consciousness. Um, Again, you can go through a process of where you going through a life changing situation, and you start to just realize and you recognize what's going on with you. You start recognize what's going on around your environment, right? You start to notice things that others may not pay attention to, or it's not always pointed out, you know. And then I also believe personally, even when you go through the states of, let's say, if you go under anesthesia, or let's say you went into a coma, I believe you still have consciousness there because your brain activity doesn't necessarily stop. Your brain's still functioning. It's just you're not awake. You're not awake at the moment because you're in a state of coma. But your cells and all those different things, they're going through the process of organizing and whatnot. And then it's like you go into a different world. It's like you go into some type of dream or something. And then by the time you wake up, you realize that, okay, I'm still here. But you don't know how long you was there. But you just know that you still in this body and you're still in that environment, or you're still in the hospital. And then when somebody tell you that, well, you've been in the hospital for 3 months because you was in a coma, or you was in the hospital for 4 months, you feel like you was just in the hospital yesterday, right? But you come to the realization that, dang, I've been here for a long time. But the reason why you had to come to that realization because you was in a deep sleep, you was in a deep coma. You know what I'm saying? Your mind or your brain activity was somewhere else during that moment.
Oh, I'm muted. You can't even hear me over here. I was saying big facts. I'm into them studies.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Do you find meaning in morality without relying on tradition, without relying on traditional religious authority?
Mm, hmm. Yes, because you determine that by looking at characters. You look at the characteristic, and again, going back to that sense of awareness. Going back to that sense of awareness. You start to become aware of certain things that does not sit well with you. It just doesn't feel right. So you know from a cultural standpoint without having to deal with religion per se, right? You're taught to say thank you, right? You taught to say please. You're taught to say excuse me,
Hmm.
right? So you're taught to have manners because that's the cultural sense, right? That's just the cultural practice. And it does not always deals with the scripture per se. It deals with how it deals with the social aspect of things, of how important it is to have a culture which is based on the morality and values and discipline. So, but what happens is with religion, right?
Excuse me.
The only thing that hinders people when it comes to religion is the idea of how God is being portrayed. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's some principles there that will help guide an individual along the way. But overall, it goes back to more of a cultural sense than just a religious sense.
Okay. Do you believe that humanity is moving toward a more unified spiritual understanding or further away from that?
Not collectively, not collectively. Again, because you gotta look at human are very divided. And
I
going
s-
back to and yeah, going back to social politics, everybody is not going to believe in the concept of spirituality. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to believe in the concept of cultural norms that we follow as far as tradition is concerned. So to say that humanity is moving towards a spiritual direction, to me that's a misnomer. That's a
mm,
misnomer because human as a collective is not moving to that direction. I mean, um, people have different, have their own way of thinking, have their own way of viewing things, right? So you might have this group of people over here that's studying and practicing spirituality and they are spiritually inclined. And then you got those over here that does not deal with spirituality, that operate from the state of atheism or agnosticism, right? And you got those over here that don't care about the values of life, which makes them nihilistic. So by them being nihilistic, they don't see what's the purpose or what's the value behind it. Just like you have people over here that believes in free will, and then you got those who don't believe in free will, they believe in determinism.
mm. Break down determinism for the people who may not know what that is.
Okay. So determinism basically means that the things that's taking place in life was already predetermined. It was already designed. It was designated to be this way, right? So there is no concept of having a free will per se. It's based off of limitation. You can only do so much. You can only go this way or go to this direction, but you don't have a total free will. You don't have total control over anything. So, and we can go to the definition, the dictionary definition, if you don't like what my my
Oh no, I like
connotation.
the definition. That definition good with me. That
Let
makes
me,
sense. That's exactly what it is. So
yeah, let's look up determinism. Determinism. All right. All right,
yeah,
so here it is. Determinism is the metaphysical view that all events within the universe can occur only in one possible way. Deterministic theory throughout the history of philosophy has developed from diverse and sometimes overlapping motives and consideration, right? So, and it also goes on to say it's the belief that all events, including humans' action, are determined by preceding causes and natural laws, leaving no room for free will. Yeah.
let's let's go. Next question I got for you. Your body is a temporary arrangement. What does that mean to you?
Oh, can I answer this one question? This brother put, but evolution can't exist in creation story. I want to address that from indigenous black man.
Let's
I never
go.
said that evolution can't exist in the creation story. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I said was I don't know as far as if we are created per se. I said that we're evolving. That's all I said. So we are evolving. And also I mentioned that we don't know who the creator is per se, so that's what led me to my belief that the universe is God in itself, because I don't know what's behind the universe. We don't know what the creator is. We don't know if there was a creation to begin with per se. We just know that we are part of the evolution. We are evolving. So I hope I answered that question. Can you repeat your question again, sir?
Oh yeah, yeah. Your body is a temporary arrangement. What does that mean to you?
That means it's a temporary vessel. It's just a temporary vessel. It's just a tool for you to navigate around this thing called life. That's all it is. It's just a tool. It's just a vessel where you can navigate in life.
Facts. Let's go. Let's go. Next question. Do humans come from monkeys?
No, we don't come from monkeys. We come from primates. Okay. And let me go into that. Let me explain that further. Okay. Let me go into my notes. Okay. Because I took notes on it. All right. Now, when we study the human's classification, which is also known as a taxonomy, right? The domain is the eukarya, which is organism with the eukaryotic cell, meaning multicellular. All right. Kingdom is anima or animalia, which is the animals, because we are part of the animal kingdom. Right. Phylum is the chordata, which is animals with a backbone or vertebrates. And class is the mammals, meaning that, because we have hair and we produce milk. Now, under order, we are primates, because that means that we are mammals with grasping fingers and collarbones. Okay, so we have something in common with the monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzee, right? Because we are primates, and primates were mammals that had grasping fingers and collarbone. So no, we don't come directly from monkeys. Monkeys do not give birth to humans. Monkeys are a totally different species. We are Homo sapiens sapien. Okay? Monkeys have their own species. And
You heard it here first, folks.
it's impossible for monkeys to give birth to humans.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
It's impossible for monkeys to give birth to humans because they are a total different species from us.
Because I'm tired of hearing people say that. I don't even know why they think that that's what y'all mean when y'all go there. But
Right.
I digress. I'm not here
Then
to.
let's go into family, which is the hominid, right? The hominids include humans, chimpanzee, gorilla, and orangutan. So we have we have a lot in common, meaning that we are primates and we also the hominid. All right. But again, when it comes down to the species, we are Homo sapiens as human. Oh my! I'm not gonna answer this man's question because I don't think it's right. I'm not gonna answer that question because
Let's go.
I
Let's go.
yeah, because I
Well,
just
it's funny because his question is almost my next question. My next question is explain to the people what explain to the people what a common ancestor is to the people. I wrote it twice. Explain to the
I
people
just
what a common
explained it.
ancestor is. And you kind of, yeah, I was gonna say you kind of just did go over
Yeah,
that. You just
I
didn't
just
say the
explained it.
word, and you just
I
didn't
just
say what it was. And yeah,
I just explained the common ancestor. I just explained it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
In
our common
detail.
ancestors are the primates. And going back to what I stated about the primates, right? Who are the primates? Again, primates are mammals. Mammals with grasping fingers, okay, and collarbones. All right. So those are primates. Now, what are mammals? Mammals are those who have hair and milk. Now, do we carry milk in our body? Yes, as women, we have the ability to breastfeed. Okay. Do we have hair? Yes, we do have hair. We have hair on our head. We have hair on our face. We have hair on our eyebrows. We have hair on our legs, right? We have hair in our pubic areas. Okay. So that does not mean that we come from monkeys. All right. That doesn't mean, once again, that monkeys gave birth to humans. This is basic biology. Okay. This is basic biology. And I think people tend to overlook that because they're not as, they're not as apprehensive. You know what I mean? And they don't, or they're not as comprehending to the information. So they tend to conflate things. And I think also people do that too. I think people do it on purpose as well to try to make an argument, which the argument does not always make sense. Okay. So again, the monkey has their own species, human have their own species. Do I have to go into what the monkey species are? I can do that. I can pull that up right now.
Can you share it on the screen?
Yes, I will.
And while you're pulling that up, let me go ahead and go into a word from our sponsors.
Okay.
I thought I had this pulled up, but I didn't.
Okay.
In every debate, there's power, passion, and purpose. Titans Debate League isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, a place where big ideas collide and voices that matter are heard. But to keep this arena alive, we need you in our corner. Your support through Cash App isn't just a donation, it's an investment in truth, in dialogue, and in community. Every dollar helps us bring sharper debates, stronger guests, and bigger opportunities for growth. And here's the best part. When you give, you're not just supporting us. You're standing tall as part of the Titan family. We see you, we value you, and we appreciate you. So if you've ever felt inspired, challenged, or entertained by what we do, show some love and send your support to $Titans Debate League at Cash App today. Again, that's $Titans Debate League at Cash App today. Together, let's keep this debate alive, keep the fire burning, and keep the Titans rising. Have a blessed day.
And appreciate all my October donators. You are the best. Start the rounds in the gun. Get down or lay down when we storming. This the clash of the Titans. And back to you, Tiff.
Okay. So it's real simple. You just gotta look it up. Okay, there's books out there that goes into the process of evolution. All right. You have to share my screen. Okay, so right here, as you can see, it shows scientific classification of monkeys, right? The animal kingdom, the chordata, right? And also the class, which is the mammal, the order, primates. These are the things that we have in common with monkeys, right? Now, the only difference is we're not in this order of the Hyplorhini, right? Or we're not in this last order as far as the species concerned, the the Simorphines or Morphoms, if that's how you say it, Simorphoms, right? We're not in that order. We're not a part of this, okay? So it shows you right here. Okay, this is all that we have in common right here. We're primates, we're mammals, we're chorida, we're animals. Okay, we all have that in common with each other, but everything else, as far as us being the same species, we're not. So that argument that people try to make, as far as that is concerned, what when people try to say, well, are you saying that humans and monkeys are the same species? No, no. I mean, and it's common logic, because if you look at the monkeys and humans, and if they try to procreate, you're not going to produce anything. You're not going to be able to give birth to a human monkey. It's like it doesn't make any sense. Okay, I never seen it happen. So yeah, it's nonsensical. So when people try to throw that counter argument as far as, oh, well, this person is trying to say that we come from monkeys and monkeys give birth to humans. No, that is a nonsensical argument, counter argument to use. Because if you really study science, if you really study biology and evolution, right, in more detail, you know that cannot be possible.
Facts. Yeah, when I see it, it shows that they don't understand the other side of the argument. It's not even that they have to agree with the other side, but like
Right.
to completely misconstrue it is another thing. And then my next question was, why do you feel evolution is so misunderstood by many in our community?
Because this is one of the reasons why. Because when people hear the concept about evolution, again, the first thing they argue is that we don't come from monkeys. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Also, people don't understand that evolution is not linear. Evolution is not linear at all. It's phylogenetic, meaning that it's chaotic. It's all over the place,
Now, do
right?
you have a chart for that?
Huh?
Do you have a chart for that?
Well, as far as, yes, I can show you the phylogenetic.
Because I've seen some before. That's the only reason I asked.
Okay, I
If
can.
you
I can
didn't
show
have
you
one, I was gonna pull one up for you.
phylogenetic evolution tree. Let's look it up. Okay, let's I'm trying to find a good one.
Take your time. And everybody watching, make sure that you are subscribed to at Titans Debate League. I know we have a couple people watching from your channel right now, Tiff.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe to at Titans Debate League, so that way you don't miss any of these fire interviews we got coming up. And the tournament that brought us all together while she's looking for that.
These are not just speakers. These are thinkers, forged in fire. Warriors of words stepping into destiny. Welcome to the Coliseum of arguments, where logic clashes with conviction and ideas spill like blood in the sand. 16 titans, 16 minds, one path to immortality. They come seeking truth, they fight for redemption, they burn for revenge. Featuring the intellectual elite of the Titans Debate League. Every round a new war, every word a new weapon. Every titan ready to fall or rise in glory. This is not debate, this is combat. Step into the Coliseum of arguments. Only the brave speak here. Are you not entertained?
Okay. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull it up. All right. So right here, if you can't you see?
Hold on, let me take this down. Add that. There we go. Yep, that's one of the ones I've seen before.
Okay. Yes. So this come from National Geographic. But this is showing you the concept of the phylogenetic tree. So a phylogenetic tree shows the evolutionary relationship among different organisms. The branches of the tree show where genetic and physical similarity and differences between organisms begin or end. A phylogenetic tree is like a family tree. The root of the tree represent a distant ancestor of the species that appear at the ends of the branches. The branches separates at nodes or points where ancestral lines split into new lines of evolution. Okay. So again, you look at all of this, right? And
Hmm.
then you can go back into like looking at bacteria, which is, that's our ancestor, right? Bacteria, but it's cellular. And then also you can look at the eukaryote, right? Which is deals with the eukaryote cell, which is multicellular. All right. So right here, this kind of shows you how evolution is. So evolution is not linear like we think it is. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So this is a phylogenetic concept. Now let's go into the other human evolutionary as far as like the human evolution is concerned, right? Let's deal with the tree on that. So to better explain, okay, let's look at the human evolution tree, right? Let me see if I can trying to find something here. It's much better. See if I can. Let me see if I can pull this picture up right here. All right. So let's go into it. All right. So if I can get my screen pulled up, you could,
Oh, sorry. Got
if
you.
you
Hold
pull
on.
my screen up.
Sorry.
Okay. Did you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So now you see the primate family, right? Yes. And to the person that posted the comments about the apes, we are a part of the apes. Okay. All right. So as you can see, this is the human, as far as the evolution is concerned, as far as like, our common ancestors or whatnot. Okay. So you see that. So this is the diagram to show you, what our ancestors and what we have in common with, other animals and things like that. And then also, so I'm gonna zooming in so everybody else can see. It says the last common ancestor of the humans and chimpanzee lived between 8 and 6 million years ago. We do not yet have its remains. And it says the last common ancestor of monkeys and apes lived about 25 million years ago. Okay. All right. So now let's get into the concept about bananas. Because I
Mm.
mentioned before, do we have do we share certain DNA with bananas? Okay.
You pulling something up?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull something up.
Gotcha.
All right. Let me pull it up. Tripping. Get this pulled up.
Take your time.
Okay, maybe I need to take some of this stuff down. It's moving kind of slow. So
Take your time. I'll go to another commercial real quick. Yep. No sign.
Okay. Okay, then cool.
1.0. This is Clash of the Titans 1.0. Two minds enter the arena, only one leaves standing. On the left, Honey Clark, leader of the Barbarians, a name that strikes fear and debaters across several continents. Omnis, scholar, the backchat butcher who's made countless heads roll. And on the right, Bosco Hoover, the primitive Freemason, a master of research, a student of knowledge, an executioner of wisdom. The battlefield are Jesus and Archangel Michael, one and the same. The date, Sunday, October 26th. The question, are you not entertained?
Sunday, October 26th. This is a debate you're not going to want to miss. Are Jesus and the Archangel Michael one and the same? And this is going to be the first debate of the tournament, Clash of the Titans. Honey Clark versus Bosco Hoover. Again, October 26th, 7 p.m. Beat me there, don't meet me there. Let's go. You there, Tiffany? Oh, I see your screen. Okay, I got you. Remove.
Okay, can't you see it now?
Yep, got you. IFL Science.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me go ahead and post this up. All right. So now here it is. Okay. So at one point in time, it was believed that we share 60% of DNA with bananas, right?
Mm.
And it says here, you share 50% of your DNA with each of your parents, but with banana, we share about 50% of our genes. Michael Francis, now a bioinformation for the Veteran Affairs Center for Data and Computational Science in Boston. All right, but that turns out to be only about 1% of our DNA. Okay. So a much more accurate statement would be that we share a portion of gene products with a banana, not DNA or even genes themselves. But the various protein or RNA molecules that arises from genes being switched on, even that though is overly simplified. So what exactly is the truth? So it says, how similar are we really to a banana? Let's go back to that 2013 project. Originally intended for a Smithsonian Museum of Natural History exhibit, the result were used in a video which includes a remark that humans' genome is 41% similar to that of a banana. But what does that actually mean? To compare genomes, the scientists behind the original info nugget first cataloged the genes of the fruit, used the result to predict which genes products would would result. Then they did the same for the human genes. With these two data set collected, the next step was to compare them, which thankfully the team had a computer do. More than 4 million comparison were done overall. The program compared how similar the sequence of the banana genes are to each human gene. So NIA geneticist Lauren Brody, who led the project, told how stuff works. The program kept any matches that were more similar than one would expect by chance. So all told, there were about 7,000 hits. That is banana genes that had a rough equivalent in the human genome. So the equivalent of about 60% of the genes in one species having a recognizable match in the other. But it is important to know that these matches weren't identical. The average similarity between proteins, Brody is explained, was about 40%. So let's break it down. Rather than 60% of our DNA being shared with a banana, we're now down to 60% of 2% of our DNA being 40% similar. Now, looking at it, the many obvious differences between humans and banana, that may still be a surprising statistic, but we're willing to bet it's somewhat less surprising than the original claim. And so it goes down to explain furthermore. There is a reason this factoid has hung around as long as it has. 60% of our genetic makeup being shared with a banana, it boggles the mind. But here's the thing: not only is the true claim much less impressive as we've seen, but it's also not that counterintuitive. A simple analogy might be to imagine building a house. Brody told how stuff works. You can think of DNA as the blueprint of a house, and the DNA of a specific species then as being the blueprint of the specific styles of house. Now compare a ranch house and a townhouse, say, we'll see they're very different overall. They likely have different furnishing inside. They will be decorated differently and have different area specific details. They'll be very different sizes and shape even. All these choices, Brody says, are analogous to the protein products of our DNA, the actual information that turns a house into my house. So, but even though all of our houses are unique, there are many things about them that we share, even if in modified forms. Some houses may have luxurious walk-in bathrooms, while others have utilitarian shower cubicles. But almost all houses have some kind of bathroom. Some have bunk beds. Others have California Kings, but all homes have a bedroom. So it's the same with these jeans products. Humans and bananas seem very different on the face of it, but at a basic level, we're not so different. If you think about what we're doing for a living and what a banana does, there's a lot of things we do the same way, like consuming oxygen. Brody said a lot of those genes are just fundamental to life. Okay. So, I'm gonna let y'all read the rest on that, but yeah. Again, so banana, for those of you that don't understand, I seen somebody post a question about the banana, right? The banana is a fruit, but before it became a fruit, it was a what? A plant. So that's what a banana really is. It's a plant that became a fruit, that became a food for us to consume. So therefore, yes, bananas are organisms because they are plants, right? So they happen to be organisms that we eat. It's just like when you eat animals, right? When you eat a cow, a chicken, a duck, a turkey, they are organisms. They are animals, but we consume them. We consume them for proteins. So it's the same way. Bananas, strawberries, um, and not just strawberries, but also collard greens, right? Lettuce. They are all plants. They are all organisms that we consume. And going back, we are part of the ecosystem. So when we die, excuse me for a moment. My computer is about to go dead, so let me go ahead and charge it up real quick. So when we die, we become food to other organisms. Okay, we become food to vultures. We become food to flies, right? Which they are maggots. We become food to rats, mice. You know, so in other words, what I'm saying is we feed off of each other. Okay, so we are all part of the system, the ecosystem. You know, and we get our when we breathe out oxygen, right? We receive carbon dioxide, and when we breathe out carbon dioxide, we receive oxygen from the plant. So the earth itself is 61% water and 39% land. Okay, so within the water there is life. In the water you have the algae. Okay, you have the whales, you have sharks, you have other plants that lives in the water. And so we get the resources from, excuse me, we get those resources from the water, from those life, from those organisms that's inside the water. So for that person who made the argument about about cannibalism and all of that. I mean, we're not cannibalists. We are what is it called? Omnivores. That's what we are. We are omnivores. Okay. We eat both plants and animals. That's what we eat. That's how we sustain life. That's how we able to gain nutrition. That's how we able to maintain our body. What else are we going to eat? Are we going to eat sand? Are we going to eat the concrete? I mean, what are we supposed to eat? We're supposed to eat those things.
That matter, yeah, that matter won't sustain us.
Yeah.
I tell people this is one big chemistry lab, and it's
Right.
just different. All
Right. Neil
it is
deGrasse
just
Tyson
different
says the
forms of
best.
matter.
Neil
And
deGrasse Tyson says the best. He said, our ancestors were scientists, and nature was our laboratory.
mhm.
Our
and
ancestors were
if you
scientists.
understand that, I think people would better understand health because you'll
Exactly.
understand you're just consuming different forms of matter, and you have to figure out there's only two sides in chemistry,
Exactly.
acid and alkaline. So acids destroy. Well, I mean, there are some healing properties to some, but generally acids destroy, and alkalines heal. So um,
So yeah,
yeah, I use it in reference to that though. Go ahead though. I'm sorry.
right. So going back to what I was saying, organism consume organisms.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, that's what we made to do. Just like alligators eat lions, lions eat alligators.
Yeah, back to the earth from which we came.
Exactly. Hey, I seen a video. I'm gonna give you something that's really. I'm gonna tell you something that was really like shocking. So I seen a video on Facebook, right, where I saw the squirrel eating a damn frog.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, a squirrel was eating a frog. It was on somebody else's page, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's weird because when you see a squirrel, they normally eat nuts, right? They normally eat plants. You know what I'm saying? You don't see them eating animals or amphibian, right? So when I saw that, I was like, what? I'm like, wait. I'm like, squirrels eating frogs? Like, that's weird to me. But somebody had posted in the comments that, hey, they're in survival mode.
Mm. You know how it be when you're in survival mode.
Exactly. When you're in survival mode, you're going to consume whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So again, organism eat organism. So what we think that organism won't eat, we have to think again. You know,
Is this the video you saw?
I can't see the video.
Wait, let me see if it's sharing on the screen or not.
I can't.
Oh,
see
it's
the
not
video.
sharing on the screen. Hold on, let me remove this.
Okay.
Remove it, add it back. Is this? Here's one that came up. You see that? Oh my god!
Hold on. Wait. I can't. Yeah, that's the video. That's the video. You
That's
see?
the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
guy
think
who
he's a
posted
lizard.
it.
I don't know if it's a frog or a lizard. I think it's a lizard. It looked like a lizard.
That's
It
not
looked
even
like
a guy.
something, but you see, that's a squirrel eating it.
I'm not gonna eat you. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that was wild though. I've
Yeah,
never seen a
it's a
squirrel
lot of
eat a
things
frog
that
either.
I told you. Nature is chaotic.
I don't know. I don't think that was AI. AI's getting good, but that looked
Nah, that's
cool.
not AI. That's nature. That is not AI.
Columbia squirrels. This squirrel is eating a bird in Colombia. Let's see
Yeah, okay. Play that video.
if it'll play this one too.
See, people don't understand nature.
Oh my god.
You see
Oh
that?
my god.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
People don't understand nature. Look at the Animal Channel, right? Look at the Discovery Channel, and you see doggone tigers chasing jaguars, right?
Hmm.
You will see hyenas eating lions. You know what I'm saying? You'll see alligators eating doggone tigers and tigers eating alligators. So it goes to show you that nature is very chaotic. Hell, at one point in time, humans used to eat humans.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It was
Cannibalism was a
bad.
real thing.
We was in survival mode like a mother. It's
Yes.
crazy.
Humans used to consume off of humans at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? And no, it's not AI. That's not AI at all. Y'all just don't understand nature.
And make sure you subscribe to my TikTok at Titans Debate League. I'm at Titans Debate League on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You know, you can't miss me.
Of course, hold on, of course they don't live in the same area, right? But if that jaguar or tiger or let's say that tiger is in that jaguar territory, right? That jaguar is gonna chase after that tiger and it's gonna eat the tiger. Okay? Because why? Because that tiger is not only looked at as a predator, but he's gonna end up becoming a prey. So nobody said they live in the same territory, but if the tiger enters into the territory of a jaguar, right? By nature, that jaguar is going to consume off the tiger.
Let's go. That's how it goes.
And
That's how
then
nature
shout out
works.
to Vinyasa. Vinyasa said it the best. He says, you have to remember squirrels are rodents, and rodents are capable of eating flesh.
Mm. So they're just like rats with tails. I mean, with fuzzy, bigger tails.
Right. Yeah, just like rats. Just like cats. Cats eat rats. They eat mice. Why you think people get cats sometimes? In case if they have a mice in the house, right? I mean, if they have a mouse or if they have a rat running around, what's gonna have that cat is gonna eat it. Oh my God. Hold on. You got some weird people on your now let me stop. Nobody said a jaguar is a tiger, bro. What is you talking about? I
No,
said
they said what a jaguar would beat a tiger at. That's what I think they said.
no, he put a jaguar ain't no fucking tiger. Nobody said that.
No,
I
he said
never
a
said that.
jaguar would.
Did I ever say a jaguar is a tiger?
No, he said a jaguar would a tiger would f a
No,
jaguar.
he said jaguar ain't fucking with it. Oh, okay, my bad. I read it wrong.
It's all right. It's all right. I just caught it when you pointed
No,
it
but
out.
what I'm telling you is if a jaguar enter in the territory of a tiger, right? It will become the prey to that tiger. Or if that tiger enter into the jaguar's territory, right? It will become. He put you can't read, lady. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna stop
It was
responding
a
to that
mistake.
person because that person is
Yeah, it
disrespectful.
was a
So
mistake.
yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna let that person have their comment.
I'm gonna show this video of when jaguars frighten tigers.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that person alone. I'm not gonna.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
I'm
gonna.
really not too in the comments. I have them showing on the screen, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what's going on here. I think this is. Can I make it bigger? Okay.
But you see that, right?
Maybe it's that jet black.
Right, you see that now. You see they fighting with each other, right? Now, if they continue on fighting, what's going to end up happening afterwards? That jaguar or that tiger is going to end up killing one another, and they're going to consume off each other.
Mm-hmm.
So the point that I'm making is that's a part. Nature is not always balanced like we think. Okay? Nature is not always balanced.
You there?
Yeah. So that's what people got to understand. So we think nature is supposed to be one way when nature is not one way. It's going to be something totally opposite. Right? And And going back to what I stated before, we are all part of the ecosystem. We are all part of the ecosystem. So anything organism is gonna consume organism regardless.
Big facts. Even if it was just like a bunch of ants are eaters.
Right. I done seen videos where what was it? Lions eating doggone zebras.
Mm.
I done seen videos. I'm like, wait a minute. Lions eating zebras? That's but again, that's the law of nature. That's how nature works.
Let me see. Ants. I wonder if I could find a video of ants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even
Consume.
ants. Yeah, even ants consume off of dead bodies. I mean, well, you know, dead organism.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's
Ants
something.
consume large. I want to see what's the biggest thing. Okay, that's an ants eating a frog.
Let me see. Let me see the video. Because people
Let me see
gotta
if
see
my
this. People
screen is
gotta
sharing.
understand.
Oh yeah, my screen isn't sharing.
Oh, okay.
Here, let me share it for you. Stop screen share. Share it again. Hold on.
Eating a frog. The camera recorded the. This is the scene of a little ant eating a frog. The
Yeah.
camera recorded the whole process. Who would have thought the ant would devour the frog completely? In such a short time,
You see that?
it's really hard to believe. This frog had just died and lay on the ground.
You
He
see
was
that?
spotted by the nearby ants. The whole
Yeah.
ant colony came out and started to eat the frog. We
Yeah.
will witness the ant's process of breaking down the frog. In just 2 days, the once lively frog was quickly surrounded by the ants. First, his skin became shriveled. Then, his claws. Soon, there was only white bones left. The ants around kept pouring towards the frog. Each one was very diligent. They carried the cut food to the cave. The frog's bulging belly disappeared. His whole skeleton was exposed. The frog's skin and flesh were gone. They became the food for the ant colony. The bones that were gnawed by the ants didn't leave a trace of
Oh, they
meat.
ate the bones too.
The bones were cleaned and shaved with a razor. The frog never imagined his final fate would be like this. As time passed, the meat on the frog became less and less. The ants around also became fewer. To find such a fresh frog, that's definitely lucky. The tiny ants. It was because of their unity. They faced the difficulties together. Even a frog that was dozens of times bigger than them, they could easily break it down. After 2 days of hard work, the frog's body was only a pile of bone. The ants also began to retreat. They enjoyed this feast. They were all satisfied. This is the scene of a little ant eating a frog.
Message. You can conquer great things when you work together.
You see, yeah. So nothing. Yeah, it takes a group of ants to eat that whole entire thing. You see, so again, going back to the statement, organism consumes organisms. Organism consumes organism, you know? And that's just a part of life in itself. You know? So
Big facts, big facts. Any closing statements for you, Tiff? What you want to leave the people with?
so I just want to read this comment one real quick. Ants don't necessarily have to wait for an organism to die to eat or wait at it. The main reason we don't see ants eat humans alive is simple. Evolutionary traits to combat them away, smack them. Yes, that's true. That's true, and I agree. Of course, you're not gonna eat humans, right? Because I mean, the ants is not gonna eat a human because the human have the ability to just remove the ants. Now, some ants is going to like, you know, feed off a part of your body parts, which leads you to have like bite marks on you and stuff like that. But but yeah, now if you was like I say, if you was dead and you was out in the open, then that would be an easy access for those ants to come up in there and eat you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's same way with the maggots, same way with the rats. You know, if you out in the open, because you end up becoming decomposed. Even the sun is gonna feed off of you. The sun's gonna feed off of you before anything, because the sun is gonna cause your body to go into decomposition, fast and quick. But anyways, shout out to brother Vinyasa for that. Shout out to him. Um, my closing statement. I mean, I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you for having me here. I just encourage people to just, study more, read more, get into doing research, and learn about life and how life work. Science is a part of us. Science is life. So whether you agree with evolution or not, it is here. We are part of that evolution regardless. So regardless of what you think, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So we're a part of that evolution. We're a part of the evolution. And once you study about evolution, once you study about anthropology, once you study biology and physics, it's all gonna make sense. I just encourage people to just continue to get the knowledge, continue to grow, and continue to educate themselves. And because you're never gonna stop learning as long as you live. So you live to learn, and you learn to live.
Live to learn and learn to live. I like that saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use that one. I'm gonna use that one. Um, yeah, what a journey that was. Tiffany French, a
Yeah.
seeker, a scholar, and a spirit unafraid to evolve from Christianity to Islam, through Hebrew studies to a worldview where the entire cosmos breathes divinity. She's
Yeah.
shown us that faith isn't a destination, it's a lifelong exploration. She's
Yeah.
in fact, she's reminded us that maybe God isn't confined to a book, a building, or a single name, but
Right.
woven into
And God,
everything.
and I want to say this, God is a nomenclature. And what I mean by that is just a title that we give it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we don't know what it really is. We don't know what this if there is a creator, we don't know what that creator is. If there is a supernatural or divine force, we don't know. So God is just that nomenclature.
So, if you could guess, or do you guess, what is on the other side of the veil?
Um, I don't know. Only thing I could say is dark matter, dark energy. I
Mhm.
mean, based on what science, based on scientific information, dark matter, and dark energy. Again, it's unknown. I guess I would have to find out when I get there
See
what
that?
it is. But until then, I can't tell you exactly what it is. I can tell you what I believe. I believe that it's the universe itself. I believe, but then again, there's something that is probably greater than the universe. I just don't know what it is.
It made me think about this song I wrote. I
Yeah.
rap. I used to rap. I don't rap anymore, but I wrote this
Okay.
song
Okay.
like
Okay.
15 years ago. I said, they say that when you die, you go to heaven or hell, but nobody I know that made it back to tell.
Right, 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 exactly. Yeah, because once you leave this planet, you gone. You back into the cosmos. So ain't no telling what you going to experience. We don't know what's in that afterlife, if there is an afterlife. And if it's an afterlife, again, that would be the cosmos. That would be the universe. So we don't know what you're gonna end up being when you get there. We don't know if you're gonna reincarnate. We don't know if you're going to like become something else as far as like a plant or something. We don't know. So we just know that you're going back to the cosmos. We know that you're gonna be part of the ecosystem. That's all we know.
One day I had a theory. I was just like daydreaming, like my mind
Hmm.
wonder. And I had a theory like, what if we reincarnate into like every organism so we can experience life from every single perspective? before like our mission's over or our journey's done. I don't know. I just be thinking random stuff sometimes, and because like you say, we don't know, so
Right.
everything is almost
We
valid.
really don't know. We really don't know. And that's the thing. As humans, one thing you have to admit, as a wise person, as a person that is learning, as a person that's a knowledge seeker, is that you don't know. Once you admit that you don't know, now you open yourself up to the opportunity to learn things.
To actually learn what is, yeah.
Yeah, or what is.
And
But
that's
I
why I
find
don't do the belief game because it's like if I'm playing belief, I'm not leaving room. Well, I feel like I'm not leaving room for the facts.
right,
Like
right,
I've filled them in with belief when
right,
I should keep my mind inquisitive, like you said,
right,
I'll be a student of life and
right, right.
realize that I'm going to continue to keep learning and just accept that,
Right. I
I
mean,
don't
and
know.
you're entitled to have a belief. You're entitled to have an opinion, and that's okay. But as you learn more and more, those beliefs start to change. Those opinions start to change. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Those
Hmm.
opinions are going to start changing. Those beliefs are going to start changing.
That's big facts. That's how it was for me in my evolution. I'm still learning, still growing.
Right. Right. You're still going through your process of evolution. You know what I'm saying? We still going through the process of evolution as we learning things in life. You don't remain same. Nothing's remain the same. You know what I'm saying? Nothing remain the same. So you still evolving. You evolving mentally. You evolving emotionally. You evolving physically. You going through a transitional state. Just like they say, you don't really die. Energy cannot be created or it cannot be destroyed. It can be transferred from one state to another. That's a law of conversion,
I heard
right?
somebody referencing that with the law of thermodynamics.
Yeah, the law of the law of thermodynamics. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you know, energy cannot be created or it cannot be destroyed. So we are made of energy, right? And
Yep.
energy is the
Right.
ability to move, is the ability to do work. So you're gonna transition from one stage to another. What it is just you don't went through the process of being declined as far as your human vessel is concerned. But your transition is just going from one state to another state as
Hey,
far as energy is concerned.
hey, that's what's up. And shout out Tiffany French again. She reminded us that maybe God isn't confined to a book, a building, or a single name, but woven into everything that is. If you
Mm-hmm.
felt challenged, inspired, or awakened by this conversation, share it, reflect on it, and keep questioning because that's what truth seekers do. So until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep expanding your mind. This is Titans Debate League. This is Tiffany French. Appreciate you again for blessing the channel with your information. And
Have
until
me
next, oh no, yeah, no problem. Hopefully you come back on. Bless us again. And until next time, where knowledge meets the unknown. This is Titans Debate League, and you guys have a blessed day. And I'm going to end off with an advertisement for the tournament we have coming up.
These are not just speakers. These are thinkers, forged in fire. Warriors of words stepping into destiny. Welcome to the Coliseum of arguments, where logic clashes with conviction and ideas spill like blood in the sand. 16 titans, 16 minds, one path to immortality. They come seeking truth, they fight for redemption, they burn for revenge. Featuring the intellectual elite of the Titans Debate League. Every round a new war, every word a new weapon. Every titan ready to fall or rise in glory. This is not debate, this is combat. Step into the Coliseum of arguments. Only the brave speak here. Are you not entertained? Amazing news! At Titans Debate League is now looking for interns. We are expanding our team and seeking driven individuals who are ready to make an impact. We're on the hunt for talented people to join our marketing team, a charismatic new host, and creative minds who can produce amazing content. If you have a positive attitude and are used to winning, because that's what we do here, then we want to hear from you. Join us and contribute to a culture of excellence and success here at Titans Debate League. Email us today, titansdebateleague@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Where Infinity Gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess build and destroy the cipher.
This is Clash of the Titans 1.0. Two minds enter the arena, only one leaves standing. On the left, Honey Clark, leader of the Barbarians, a name that strikes fear in debaters across several continents. Omnis, scholar, the backchat butcher who's made countless heads roll. And on the right, Bosco Hoover, the primitive Freemason, a master of research, a student of knowledge, an executioner of wisdom. The battlefield are Jesus and Archangel Michael, one and the same. The date, Sunday, October 26th. The question: are you not entertained?
Yeah. Woo. What? Woo. Yo. Woo. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. It's the Clash of the Titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. It's the Clash of the Titans. In a dimension where Infinity Gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess, build and destroy the cipher. Intellectual sword will slice ya, or whatever the vice you recommend. Surgical, precise pin, hand get.
Debate, there's power. In every debate, there's power, passion, and purpose. Titans Debate League isn't just a podcast. It's a movement, a place where big ideas collide and voices that matter are heard. But to keep this arena alive, we need you in our corner. Your support through Cash App isn't just a donation. It's an investment in truth, in dialogue, and in community. Every dollar helps us bring sharper debates, stronger guests, and bigger opportunities for growth. And here's the best part. When you give, you're not just supporting us. You're standing tall as part of the Titan family. We see you, we value you, and we appreciate you. So if you've ever felt inspired, challenged, or entertained by what we do, show some love and send your support to $Titans Debate League at Cash App today. Again, that's $Titans Debate League at Cash App today. Together, let's keep this debate alive, keep the fire burning, and keep the Titans rising. Have a blessed day.
Get down or lay down when we're stopping. It's the Clash of the Titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stopping. It's the Clash of the Titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the Clash of the Titans. This the Clash of the Titans.
In a world where truth is tested, and only the strongest minds survive, one man stands above them all. Chris MVP Harris, the slasher of the Abrahamic faiths, the teacher of truth so raw, so unfiltered, so dangerous, other platforms couldn't contain him. The man who made logos a household name, the myth, the scholar, the intellectual titan, one of the most seasoned debaters on the internet today. Now, the stage is set, the spotlight is burning, and the world asks, who will be brave enough to face him? Clash of the Titans 1.0. $500 cash prize. Honor, glory, legacy. Are you not entertained?
Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. In a dimension where infinity gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess, build and destroy the cipher, intellectual sword to slice ya, or whatever device ya. Recommend surgical